Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tirra, your Goddess Guru, here to share a word of inspiration to assist you on your path to self-realization, knowing the fullness of who and what you are, and self-mastery, mastering your gifts, your talents, the lessons that you have come here to learn. And so this week, May or June, I don't know, I'm losing track of time right now in my life. It's the first week of June in 2014. And the wisdom that is speaking is Haru again. I want to go back to the yearly reading. This year is a year for us to walk more in our power. It's all about walking, self-empowerment. And, self-empowerment, I'm learning, is not really giving yourself the power. It's opening yourself to the power within you. This year is all about tapping the power within. If you're having hard times, it's giving you an opportunity for you to realize that you can deal with the tough times. If you're having a year of success, things are going the way you want them to go, then you're being given an opportunity to actually see your power in action. And so with Haru speaking today, Haru is all about walking confidently in your own power. It's really interesting because I have been hearing for several weeks now that I need to make a video on sabotage, self-sabotage in particular. And so when Haru speaks, another way of us or a lesson that we can look at is whether or not we are walking confidently in our power. Or the other thing is, where are we sabotaging ourselves? So Haru is all about willpower. And I have said it numerous times because Haru seems to speak to us a lot. Okay, y'all? Haru is like, I'm not going to give up on y'all. I'm going to keep speaking. And when we talk about willpower, willpower is about understanding we have an inner landscape. It is our consciousness. And our thoughts, our feelings, what we see and think about and feel about, those are the seeds. Those seeds get planted within our inner landscape, our consciousness, because again, self-realization is about knowing who we are. We are consciousness that's inserted into a physical body, okay? And so our consciousness creates our reality. The reality is created through thinking. We were not necessarily taught as children what you think is what you're going to get. A lot of times we were told what to think. A lot of times we were told what to expect. And that's something that Haru says. Look at what was instilled in you in your formative years and see, is it working for you? So we were given the seed by our families, by our cultures. When we go to school, so many ways we're given the seed and told this is who you are, this is what you think, and that's what we've planted in our consciousness. Well, now we get to choose. We can choose to understand the truth of who and what we are and how this world really works. And we can understand that what we think about, what we feel about, what we see in our minds, what we use our imagination for, that's what gets planted within our consciousness, and that's what creates our reality. That is what willpower is. The power of the universe, the wisdom of the universe will create a plan that powers whatever we're thinking and feeling about the most into our reality. That is willpower. And so we have the ability to choose whatever we want. So this is a week to not feel like anyone's making you do anything. Live by choice, even if you're saying, I'm making a bad choice, that's walking in your power. If you're saying, I don't want to do right, that is respectable. Because at least you're admitting it. You're taking responsibility for why you're doing what you're doing. Because as long as you give your power away by saying, well, so-and-so made me do this, or by saying, well, it's not my fault, I had no choice, then, I mean, you're just giving your power away. But if you admit, I'm not weak enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm too weak to say no. I'm saying yes when I really should say no. If you admit that, that puts you in a very good place. Because at some point, you will say no when you really should say no, or yes when you really should say yes. So, we have to understand that we live by choice, but we have different aspects of ourselves. It's almost like we have departments within ourselves. And I will call one of the departments the saboteur. I learned about the saboteur from a book called Sacred Contracts by Caroline Myss. And there's 4 main archetypes. One of them, and these are all inner parts of ourselves. One of them is the saboteur. The saboteur is the guardian of choice. And so it's so interesting how we don't have enough confidence, we don't have enough faith, we don't have enough belief in ourselves. It's because we've been taught, don't love yourself, don't believe in yourself. But we can choose otherwise. We don't have enough love, self-love, and so we'll make a decision to do better, to make a change in our lives, and then we find a way to totally mess ourselves up. And a good example is for those of us, I'm one of them, that is constantly working on the weight. We'll make a decision, okay, this is the week, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to exercise, I want to be a particular size, and the first time we get weak, maybe it's something emotionally, maybe we're too busy, maybe we're sleepy, it could be any number of reasons, we mess up. We don't go and exercise, we overeat, we eat food that we know makes us gain weight instead of lose weight. But then we cry, why can't I lose weight? You can't lose weight because you didn't make the choice to stick with the plan. And so that, again, that's why willpower and understanding what true willpower is, where consciousness, we plant the seed, and you have to do it every day, over and over and over. You have to write it down. You have to think about it. You have to immerse yourself in the energy that you are seeking to become. So, for me, I seek to be a size, let's say, 8. Okay, I have to become one with that energy. And I use my willpower to do it. But because of, like I said, we don't love ourselves enough. We have a lot of self-hatred going on. The next thing you know, the saboteur is, we're self-sabotaging ourselves. I mean, in how many ways is it really your fault that your life sucks? Your fault that something went wrong? I mean, just how many times could you've made a different decision that would have led you to a different place? And so it's a tough lesson, but it's one, once you get it, you're like, okay, you never feel down again. And you can behave your way. You can think your way to a new place. Now, I decided to look at what Caroline Myss said about the saboteur again, and I found it really interesting. Because when I pulled a card from the Mayan oracle. The name of this energy is Akbal. Akbal says that you can't fear change. And that's what the saboteur is all about, fear of change. And so sometimes people fear success, sometimes people fear failure. You'll be amazed at how many people fear the change that will lead them to success. You're so used to failing that you can't conceive of success. Anytime you get success, you totally sabotage yourself because it feels so different energetically. So fear of change. Be confident and courageous, because change is good. Change is inevitable. Even if it seems like you're not changing, trust me, you're changing. Okay? You can change for the better and you can change for the worse. But change is really and truly the one certain thing that we have going on in this physical reality. Things are going to change. It's the nature of this physical reality. So your hair, your cells, all of that changes. We think this is the same body we had from when we were a baby, but our whole macrophysiology, and this is science, okay? This is not woo-woo, magic. This is science. Our whole macrophysiology changes year by year. Literally, cells slough off and we get new cells. We don't even have the same cells we started out with, okay? You're not escaping change. But I remember one time hearing Deepak Chopra say, you know what you have with the same. Is this really what you want? Really, the better place to go is into the unknown. Because at least there you have a chance to get more of what you want. And ever since I've heard him say that, it's something I seek to live according to. When you fear moving forward, you have to know it's normal. But you have to want so badly to have some good for yourself. And that's why self-love, belief in yourself, deprogramming the old that doesn't work, that's no good, just because they told you whatever they told you doesn't mean it's true. Okay? You have to constantly study yourself to figure out, is this really true about myself, or am I just living some made up little fictional story, i.e. lie? And so we're not living to our fullest potential. So we have to move past all of the lies so that we will allow ourselves to want more for ourselves. And what we have to do is we have to talk to the saboteur within and say, look, I need you to manifest in the positive. Because the saboteur can manifest in the positive or the negative. The saboteur can make you sabotage yourself in every way possible that you can imagine. The saboteur will say, you know what, if you want to be negative, if you want me to manifest in a way where I am sabotaging everything you do, the saboteur will do it in your relationships, in your career, in your health, in your mind, in your emotions. Okay? If you want the saboteur to manifest positively, you talk to that saboteur and you say, show me where I am sabotaging myself. And I need you to be the guardian of choice and hold my hand as I decide to live by choice. Even when I am fearful, I am still going to move forward because I am valuable beyond measure. I came here, your birthright. Tell yourself this, that your birthright is to have good, is to have success, is to have the things that you desire in life. At the top of my list are peace, love, harmony, good relationships with my family, feeling good about myself. Those are to me foundational to having a life that's successful, happy, and good. Other things, all the other extraneous stuff. People want to travel. People want a house. People want a car. People want certain clothes. All of that is good too. There should be no limit on what we conceive of as having good in our lives and actually having it. There is no limit. And so we have to ask the saboteur to help us move to that place where we stand confidently within ourselves, where we say, I am not going to lie down as a powerless victim in life. That if I do lie down as a powerless victim in life, I am making that choice. I am choosing to lay down. It's been too many people in the world that really had bad stuff happen to them as children. as people who were held prisoner. Some people were born that had no food. But guess what? They didn't let it break their spirit. For whatever reason, they continued to believe in themselves. How many of us need to learn from people who truly could have been broken, but decided, I will not be broken. I will not let the bad things in my life dictate whether or not I have a good life or a bad life. I'm just going to shake it off. Okay? I'm just going to pick myself up and I'm going to keep moving. You owe it to yourself to do the same. Do not let life beat you up. Do not act like you don't have any power. You are powerless beyond measure. You must walk confidently and courageously in the direction that leads you to your greatest happiness. I'm going to give you one more thing. I remember when I had to admit I actually like being depressed because it's a comfort zone for me. I actually like being down and out because that's my place of comfort. I was there for so long, I was like, really, it sucks, but this is where I'm comfortable with. And as soon as I admitted that, I was okay with being depressed. I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I didn't feel like life was that bad. I just said, you know what? I have to decide to make a decision to want something else, but I'm just going to admit, this is where I'm most comfortable. And once I decided, I don't like feeling this way. Honestly, I don't want to live like this. This is not the life I dream for myself. Then I started making a decision. I'm not going to be depressed anymore. I have to do some things. I have to do some spiritual work. Work your spiritual practices this week. Have to do some spiritual work. So, you know, I had to get up and do some mental health stuff up there. But I chose to be depressed. And then I chose to not be depressed. It's that easy. Because we're powerful beyond measure. And I remember my husband, he would say, I just don't get people like you. I mean, he said, I don't live that way. I'm naturally not that way. And I would think, oh, you just have life so good. And you don't understand. Well, once I decided I'm taking responsibility for my life, guess what? I realized I get it now. It's all a choice. I would like to recommend too, there's a book that was really popular by Gary Zukav, Seat of the Soul. If you've never read that book, I recommend reading that book because it was reading that book that helped me get to a place where I understood I don't have to be any particular way, and the way to not be that way is to do something different. Just don't do it. And it seems easy when you're on this side, but honestly, that's it. That's how I live my life now. When I want to make a change, whatever I'm doing that I don't want to do anymore, I just stop doing it. And people have told me that before. It was not until I read that book that I thought, okay, I really get it. Another thing that I recommend is watching the movie A Beautiful Mind. It showed how that man just chose his way out of his mental health illness. I am going to end the video here. Thank you so much for taking time to spend with me in this spiritual, sacred place virtually. I wish you a great week and much success in your life. And again, I'm Tirra, your goddess guru. Have a great day. Have a great week.